Chosen one, listen carefully, because this moment is not ordinary. This is not just another message passing through your day, and it is not a coincidence that these words have reached you. Somewhere deep inside, you have felt a stirring, a quiet tug on your spirit, a sense that there must be something greater waiting for you beyond the struggles, delays, disappointments, and unanswered questions that have followed you for so long. Today, that feeling is rising to the surface. Today, you are being reminded that your life carries purpose, and purpose always demands a response. There comes a time in every person's journey when they must decide whether they will continue living as they always have, or step forward into the calling that has been placed before them. This is one of those moments. The question before you is simple, yet powerful. Are you paying attention? Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to answer when your heart knows it is being called towards something greater than fear, doubt, and hesitation? For a long time, you may have been waiting for a sign. You may have been asking for direction, praying for clarity, searching for answers, wondering when your breakthrough would finally arrive. But what if the answer has been closer than you realized? What if the opportunity you have been waiting for is not somewhere in the distant future, but standing directly in front of you right now? So many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment, believing that one day everything will suddenly become clear before they take action. Yet life rarely works that way. Growth begins when we move forward despite uncertainty. Transformation begins when we choose faith over fear. Destiny begins when we stop waiting for permission and start walking toward the purpose that has already been placed within us. Deep down, you know there is more inside you than what the world has seen. You know there are gifts you have not fully used, dreams you have not fully pursued, and possibilities you have not fully explored. The reason those desires continue to return is because they were never meant to disappear. They were planted inside you for a reason. The longing you feel for a meaningful life is not weakness. It is not foolishness. It is evidence that your spirit recognizes there is still another level waiting for you. There is a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, more courageous, and more aligned with your purpose than the person you are today. The question is whether you are willing to become that person. Every challenge you have faced has prepared you for this moment. The disappointments that nearly broke you, the seasons when you felt forgotten, the times when doors closed in your face, the moments when you questioned your own worth, none of them were wasted. They were shaping you. They were building strength where there was weakness, patience where there was frustration, wisdom where there was confusion, and resilience where there was fear. What looked like setbacks were often preparations. What felt like delays were often opportunities to develop the character required for the future waiting ahead of you. Many people give up too soon because they cannot see what is happening behind the scenes. They assume nothing is changing because nothing is visible yet. But some of the most important transformations happen in silence. Seeds grow beneath the surface long before anyone sees the first sign of life. In the same way, your growth may have been invisible to others, but it has been happening all along. The strength you carry today did not appear overnight. It was built through every struggle you survived. And now the time has come to stop viewing yourself through the lens of your past limitations and start seeing yourself through the lens of possibility. Imagine looking back on your life years from now. Imagine remembering this exact season. What story do you want to tell? Do you want to remember that fear kept you from moving forward? Do you want to remember that doubt convinced you to stay where you were? Or do you want to remember that this was the moment when everything began to change because you finally decided to believe that your life mattered, your purpose mattered, and your future deserved your full commitment? Every great transformation begins with a decision. Before circumstances change, a mindset changes. Before opportunities appear, belief appears. Before doors open, courage appears. The people who create meaningful lives are not those who never experience fear. They are the people who refuse to allow fear to make their decisions for them. They understand that uncertainty is not a reason to stop. It is a reason to trust, learn, grow, and keep moving forward. Right now, there are opportunities waiting for you that you cannot yet see. There are connections that have not yet been made, lessons that have not yet been learned, victories that have not yet been celebrated, and doors that have not yet been opened. But none of those things can be reached if you remain standing still. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates progress. Progress creates transformation. This is why the present moment matters so much. It is not enough to dream about a different future. You must begin walking toward it. It is not enough to hope things improve. You must participate in your own growth. The world does not need a smaller version of who you are. It does not need your excuses, your doubts, or your fears. It needs your gifts. It needs your voice. It needs the contribution only you can make. Somewhere there is a person who needs your encouragement. Somewhere there is an opportunity waiting for your preparation. Somewhere there is a challenge that will reveal strengths you do not yet know you possess. This is why you cannot afford to settle. This is why you cannot afford to spend another year living beneath your potential. Your life carries significance, and significance always requires responsibility. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be reasons to postpone action until conditions seem better. But if you keep waiting for perfect circumstances, you may wait forever. The perfect moment is a myth. The real moment is now. The real opportunity is the one standing in front of you today. The real challenge is whether you will have the courage to take the next step before you have all the answers. Growth never begins at the finish line. It begins at the starting line. It begins with one choice, one act of faith, one commitment to move forward. You have survived too much to continue doubting yourself. You have come too far to turn back now. The obstacles you overcame were not meant to defeat you. They were meant to reveal your strength. The storms you endured were not meant to destroy your future. They were meant to prepare you for it. Every experience has been shaping a story greater than the one you can currently see. And now you stand at a crossroads. One path leads toward comfort, familiarity, and stagnation. The other leads toward growth, challenge, purpose, and transformation. The first path may feel safer, but it will never satisfy the deeper longing within your soul. The second path requires courage, but it leads toward the life you were created to live. The choice belongs to you. Nobody else can make it. Nobody else can walk your journey. Nobody else can fulfill the assignment attached to your life. There are moments when everything changes because a person decides they are no longer willing to remain where they are. This can be your moment. This can be the chapter where you stop focusing on what you have lost and begin focusing on what is still possible. This can be the season where you stop allowing past disappointments to define your future expectations. This can be the time when you finally believe that your best days may still be ahead of you. The future has a way of rewarding those who remain faithful through difficult seasons. The effort you invested when nobody was watching matters. The discipline you maintained when nobody applauded matters. The sacrifices you made when nobody understood matter. Nothing meaningful is ever wasted. Seeds planted in faith eventually produce a harvest. Patience eventually meets opportunity. Preparation eventually meets purpose. What feels slow today may suddenly accelerate tomorrow. What feels impossible now may become reality sooner than you imagine. Life can change quickly when preparation and opportunity meet. This is why you must remain ready. Remain hopeful. Remain committed. Do not allow temporary circumstances to convince you that permanent defeat is your destiny. It is not. The story is not finished. There are still pages left to write. There are still victories left to experience. There are still dreams waiting to awaken. There are still breakthroughs waiting beyond the horizon. Sometimes transformation arrives gradually. Sometimes it arrives suddenly, but it always begins with a willingness to embrace change. You cannot become who you are meant to be while clinging to everything you used to be. Growth requires release. It requires letting go of limiting beliefs, outdated fears, and self-imposed barriers. It requires trusting that what lies ahead is greater than what lies behind. The next chapter of your life may require a new level of courage, discipline, and faith, but it will also bring new opportunities, new wisdom, and new possibilities. Do not fear the transition. Embrace it. Every great achievement once looked impossible. Every remarkable journey began with uncertainty. Every success story included moments when giving up seemed easier than continuing. Yet the people who changed their lives refused to quit. They refused to surrender their vision. They chose persistence over comfort. They chose growth over fear. And because of that choice, their lives became evidence of what is possible when determination meets purpose. You possess that same potential. The future is not determined solely by what happens to you. It is shaped by how you respond to what happens. Your response matters. Your attitude matters. Your willingness to keep moving forward matters. No matter how many setbacks you have experienced, there is still power in your next decision. There is still hope in your next step. There is still possibility in your future. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to rise. This is the time to trust that the lessons of your past have prepared you for the opportunities ahead. This is the time to stop measuring your future by your previous failures and start measuring it by your current determination. The world is filled with people who gave up too soon. Do not become one of them. Stay in the fight. Stay committed to your growth. Stay focused on your purpose. Continue becoming the person you were created to be. There is a reason you are still here. There is a reason you still have breath in your lungs, dreams in your heart, and hope in your spirit. Your journey is not over. Your story is still unfolding. The next season of your life may contain opportunities greater than anything you have experienced before. It may contain restoration where there was loss, clarity where there was confusion, and progress where there was stagnation. But you must be willing to move forward when the opportunity appears. Believe that your life has meaning. Believe that your struggles have not been wasted. Believe that your future can be brighter than your past. Believe that growth is possible, change is possible, healing is possible, and transformation is possible. Most importantly, believe that the person you are becoming is stronger than the person you used to be. The moment is here. The invitation is before you. The choice is yours. Will you remain where you are, or will you step forward into the future waiting for you? The answer begins with the decision you make today.